Hey, what's up everybody and welcome back to News Dose, and we did make it to the end of the week. I'm sure a lot of you all out there are ready for the weekend, ready to play some great games this weekend. I mean, there's some good games that just came out. Maybe you want to go out and play Field, Return to the Monkey Island. That game is getting some really good reviews. Maybe you want to go play that. But either way, what better way to start your weekend than with some more gaming news? And boy oh boy, if that's the case, then you're in for a fun time because we do have a lot to talk about today. Some new possible Xbox hardware was spotted online, or actually in an official ad out of all places, and then a mysterious Nintendo game that I'm very much looking forward to myself resurfaced and could even release soon. So yeah, it should be a fun time today. But before we get started, I want to go ahead and point you all in the direction of those buttons below. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell. I do very much appreciate it. And also, just kind of let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. I do read all of your all's comments, and it's something that I very much do enjoy. So always let me hear your opinions below. Let's just go and jump right into the video though, starting off with Splinter Cell. You know, this is a franchise the fans have just been begging for years and years, and now finally, Ubisoft, they're actually listening. I mean, who would have thought? Or, well, at least kind of. Now, they're not flat out making a brand new game here, but they are working on a remake of that original 2002 release using their new Snowdrop engine that they use for their Division games. Now, on the surface, all that sounds interesting and everything, and if it succeeds, I mean, who knows? Maybe, just maybe they'll invest a little more into the Splinter Cell IP going forward. At the very least, with a remake of what many consider to be a masterpiece, you should expect a good game, right? Well, this is Ubisoft that we're talking about here, and now they've given some new details that have some fans just a little more than concerned. That's because they stated this over in a job listing. Using the first Splinter Cell game as our foundation, we are rewriting and updating the story for a modern-day audience. We want to keep the spirit and themes of the original game while exploring our characters and the world to make them more authentic and believable. So yeah, the part here that's creating a big stir online is that they're quote-unquote updating this game for a modern-day audience. Now this has created a lot of reactions and just assumptions as exactly what they're referring to here, but it is kind of a vague statement as of this moment. It's really hard to tell if this will be small-scale changes or instead if they're looking to do something a little bit more dramatic. So I don't really want to jump to conclusions here until we start to hear and see more. I mean, this is just a job listing for the time being, but I want to just kind of remain hopeful here until we actually see more. At the end of the day, I just want a good Splinter Cell game that feels and plays like Splinter Cell, so please, Ubisoft, do not mess this up. But let me know what you all think about this, though. Is this concerning to you or not? Again, I want to hear y'all's opinions, so let me know. Now, we also got an update for that GTA 6 leak that happened last weekend. That was one of the biggest leaks ever in the game industry, and I just knew as soon as I heard about this that this was how this was going to end. Of course, it's now being reported that the suspected hacker is in custody and, well, has been arrested. They have been busted. Apparently, this was a 17-year-old kid located in London and was even linked to a hacker group by the name of Lapsus. Now, supposedly, this 17-year-old kid hacked Uber a few weeks ago. You know, that's a major company as well, and I guess they just weren't satisfied with that and decided to go after Take-Two. And right there's your mistake. Do not, and I mean do not, mess with Rockstar and Take-Two. They get upset if you post trailer footage of their games. That's actually why I never post footage of GTA or stock footage of Red Dead Redemption on my channel. They just baby their IP. So what do you think is going to happen when you hack and steal footage of their next big game, GTA 6? On top of that, I mean, the hacker wasn't done there because they went out and they tried to ransom the source code that was supposedly stolen. Of course, Take-Two, they're going to react to that. They're going to use all of their power, all that GTA Online money, which seems just endless. They're going to use that, and they're going to find you, and they are not going to let up. You basically gave yourself a 5-star wanted rating, and that's what happened here. It was just stupidity at the end of the day. Some kid who thought, because this is the internet, nobody can catch me. I can steal this code. I can try to sell it. But, well, here we are. The hacker's been arrested, and I'm sure Take-Two is very satisfied, and I'm guessing they're going to try to make an example out of this hacker. Yes, they're 17 years old, but Take-Two, I don't think really cares about that, so there you go. Let's just go and shift gears here, though, as we got another Japan sales update as Famitsu released their weekly numbers, which offers some more surprising results. I'll kind of explain why here in just a moment. But let's go ahead and take a look at the total units sold for each platform. Per usual, the Nintendo Switch absolutely dominated with a total of 127,000 units sold. Really, this is pretty typical, as it's one of the best performing consoles ever made in that region, and the software, it reflects that as well. Second place, though, for the week is where things start to get surprising, as the Xbox Series took second place with 14,000 units sold, while the PlayStation 5 pushed 11,000. Now that there is the reason that this is just so interesting, because the Xbox Series, once again, I mean, they've done this a few times now, but once again, they have outsold the PlayStation 5 in its home territory, and this is a place that Xbox has not historically done very well in. What's even more interesting here, though, and this is the reason that we're talking about this today, is that this was the best week ever for the Xbox Series S, specifically with 13,000 units sold. Now, there might be a few reasons for this. It could have just been an up week for stock supply, can't rule that out, but there's a few other things that are happening here as well. There was a 5,000 yen promo for the Series S, which could be another reason that you're seeing an increase like this. And this also aligns, and this is where things really start to take a turn, it does align with the PlayStation 5 price increase. So that's a very attractive offer when you combine the two, and if the Series S is readily available in Japan as we are seeing in other regions, that could be a major reason as to why you're seeing such a big increase here. One way or the other, though, this is something to monitor in Japan. As of this moment, this is just a single week, but Xbox does have some momentum going on over there, and with the PlayStation 5 price increase, Xbox does suddenly become a lot more attractive in that region, especially with Xbox committing to Japanese games more and more, as we saw last week at TGS 2022. Now, I'm not saying that Xbox is going to trump the PlayStation 5 lifetime or anything like that, and stock does play a role here, but one thing is very clear. Xbox is pushing some units in Japan this generation, and their momentum is really only increasing. Now, it's really just whether or not they can continue to increase that momentum, or even just kind of keep it consistent. Now, speaking of Xbox, a new console might have just leaked out online thanks to a new Logitech Astro headset ad. Yeah, that's probably not something that you'd expect, but what's happening here is that a white Xbox Series X has now been spotted in the background. I'll just go ahead and post a picture here so you can see it for yourself, but as you can see, there's various products, including a PlayStation 5, you have a VR headset, there's various controllers, some Yeti microphones, and then the part that stands out here is that white Xbox Series X, which currently doesn't exist officially. So this has quickly led to a lot of speculation that it's either an Easter egg or some kind of accidental leak before an official announcement. Now, I will say the timing of all this could maybe line up with an official announcement. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do say this for really two different reasons. Microsoft did just release that white Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, and that would pair nicely with a white console. In fact, there were leaks of that thing before it officially got announced, so this would just kind of fit in with that. But then the other reason is that we are moving into the holiday period, and a new console variant would make for a very nice option to have. I have seen some fans kind of hope for a variant like this, and it does look really nice in my opinion, and they could actually do some cool things with this. If they really wanted to, they could bring a new variant out and maybe offer less storage for $50 less. And if they were to do something like that, that would be a very attractive option next to the PlayStation 5, which has increased in price in several regions. So suddenly you'd have this very powerful console that's $100 cheaper than the PlayStation 5, and that would be a bold move that could pay in dividends for Xbox. Of course, I'm just speculating here, but going back to this Logitech ad, we of course have to ask ourselves, is this really an official Xbox Series X console? There's also the possibility that Logitech just kind of came in and slapped a skin on it to create a better aesthetic for their ad. Most of the products on display in this ad do fit a very specific theme, whether that be with the shelves, the clothes, or in this case with the devices. The only thing that kind of makes you pause here is that there are a few other products such as the Pink Yeti mic and some of the controllers that don't really fit into that theme. So it is a little strange that they would reskin the Xbox Series X while also leaving everything else as is. Now maybe they wanted a little extra color here to make it pop more. I'm not really a designer, so I don't know, but it is something to maybe keep an eye on. Let me know what you think about this, though. Do you think there's an incoming announcement coming? And if so, do you think that they should try to make it cheaper to really capitalize on the PlayStation 5 price increase? Let me know your thoughts below. Now, we do have one more topic to go over. It's a mysterious Nintendo game that I've actually predicted to be at various Pokemon Presents events over the years, has now resurfaced online, and that's for Detective Pikachu 2. So the story behind this game is that it was confirmed years ago that a sequel to the 3DS game was in development. But then we got like years and years of silence. Really, it started to look like it might have gotten canceled, or at least until today. We've finally got an update thanks to a LinkedIn profile where a senior game programmer for Creature Incorporated stated that one project that he's worked on is Detective Pikachu 2, and that it's nearing release. So not only does he essentially confirm it's still in development, which that's already nice to hear, but he also mentioned it's more or less coming sometime here soon. Now, I do want to spread a little caution here because nothing is really confirmed as of this moment, and this actually kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened with Pikmin 4. Back in 2015, Shigeru Miyamoto mentioned that Pikmin 4 was close to completion. And well, as we all kind of know, after 7 long years, they finally unveiled it. So, I mean, you never really know when it comes to this type of thing until it's 100% official. But at the same time, I think Nintendo and the Pokemon Company do operate in different ways. When it comes to Nintendo's very own IP, I mean, they're very infamous for holding onto games despite them being complete. We'll actually talk about that here in a little bit. And that could be what happened with Pikmin 4. For all we know, Pikmin 4 might have been finished some while ago, and then Nintendo was just kind of waiting for the perfect time to release it. The Pokemon Company, though, they seem a little bit more strict in how they release their games. It does seem like they try to push their games out at a rapid pace. Take a look at something like Pokemon Legends Arceus, where it was probably shown a little too early and then released just months after Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So they didn't even give the two much room to breathe. Then for that matter, when it comes to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the complete game wasn't even on the card. I mean, even with the mainline series, it seems like they might rush Game Freak a little bit to just kind of complete them at a fast pace. Otherwise, we might see more improvements in terms of graphics and things like that. Now, I'm just speculating here, but I don't really think the Pokemon Company likes to sit on their games the same way Nintendo does. Yes, they are exclusive to Nintendo and they do work together and everything, but they do operate a little bit different. And that's really all I'm trying to say here. As of this moment, though, we don't really have any big known Pokemon spinoffs after Scarlet and Violet, so maybe Detective Pikachu 2 could release sometime in 2023 to just kind of continue that trend of those yearly Pokemon releases. I mean, they do need a bigger title set for next year, so this one could be it. I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see, though, but I am excited to see what they do with this game. As you all know, I am a big fan of the Pokemon franchise, and this is one of the better Pokemon spinoffs in my opinion. I'm also interested to see just how well this game will perform after the movie did have some success. I mean, as we just talked about earlier this week, when it comes to Cyberpunk Edge Runners, that has majorly helped out that franchise, so, you know, with some success here, who knows, it might be more successful than that original title on the 3DS. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though, and just with so many rumors surrounding a Metroid Prime Remaster, I wanted to kind of gauge how you all feel about this situation. So I asked you all, despite not being at Nintendo Direct, do you believe that a Metroid Prime Remaster exists? And as you can see here, there's a lot of different opinions about this. 49% of you all did say no, while 41% of you still remain hopeful that yes, it is a real thing. So definitely some split results here, which definitely goes, I think, to show you that there has been some trust lost when it comes to these insiders. You know, there's been a lot of claims of this game's existence after it's missed direct after direct, and it's really easy to see why a lot of fans have kind of given up on its existence. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, or really in this case like 5 different times, well, shame on me. So I can definitely understand the skepticism around this game, but I'm actually in the minority here. I do believe that this game exists. Now you can just say that I'm being optimistic here and because I want it to happen, and okay, that is very much true. But the thing for me is that we have seen some insiders out there like Jeff Grubb that is still very adamant that this game does exist. On one side, Jeff Grubb admitted that he was wrong about the Zelda remasters, but still remains very adamant that a Metroid Prime remaster is coming. So I don't really think that he's lying about this. He has been correct about a lot of his information in the past, and I don't think that he would just purposely lie about something. Now, there is a question on whether or not his information is correct or if it's wrong, but the reason that I'm inclined that he does have some correct information here is because I just feel like a release of Metroid Prime makes too much sense. Call it a gut feeling, but they are working on Metroid Prime 4, and in order to capitalize on that title, it would be great to get fans caught up on its original releases, a franchise that has been very much overlooked over the years. So that's really the reason that I kind of lean in the direction of it being a real thing. Who knows, though? I could be wrong about this, and you all can come back and laugh in my face with every direct that doesn't announce it. But I guess I'm just going to have to die on this hill. Looking through the comments, though, Dave K posted, "For the love of Christ, I wish people would stop giving me hope for Metroid Prime." And my response to that is no. If I have to suffer in waiting for it, then you do as well. I'm just joking here, but here's the hoping we do get an announcement sooner rather than later. Please, Nintendo, do something smart here with the Metroid IP. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.